happening to you while you're doing it. Basically, you know, it just slows you up and makes you think. But what we're saying, we're not talking about diet here. We're talking about eating healthy, eating well. Yeah. And if you eat well and eat healthy, you don't have to diet, because a diet seems to be a temporary thing.
It is temporary.
We're looking at a lifestyle, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're looking at a lifestyle change where you're actually aiming to eat healthy. Don't rush. Don't you know, your refined carbohydrates, your fatty foods, your saturated fats. I picked up in the paper today, Independent, on the train, problems. I don't know what you guys feel about shellfish and oysters and mussels and those kind of things. I don't know. Have you got any thoughts on those things? Because the newspaper article seems to be suggesting the links to food poisonings and so on.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, because when you think about what we're putting into sea these days, you've got a multitude of chemicals in you know, which is being funneled into sea, and subsequently, you know, fish are eating it, and we eat fish, and various other creatures. So, you know, this is why it's so imperative we start to raise our psyche now and start to really have that real comprehension of food and what's happening to our food these days. So, you know,
in programs, in a few programs back, we talked about plant-based foods, which is what you're talking about here, and we talked about how God in Genesis actually encouraged populations to eat that way. And over in Leviticus, he talked about foods that man should eat and man should not eat. And the foods that man are eating now are the ones that are causing the problems. So if we revert back to the natural foods, we're going to be in better health and in better shape. Isn't that so, Errol?
Indeed, Pauline. There is good guidelines from God, our Creator, that tells us the things that are wholesome and beneficial for eating. But of course, man being who he is and what he is, very rarely listen to good advice anyhow. And always want to do things the way they want to do things. And of course, God says there's a way that seems right to you, but ultimately it will lead you into trouble.
And from that point of view, people end up taking drugs.
Yes. Okay, we have another caller. Good evening, caller.